The Terminological Exactitude of Stress. What are the consequences? By Caitlin Nye. Understanding stress. Humans and animals alike have always been subject to the pressure of their environment. Seeger, Strommen, Miller, 2004. The pressure that the environment can exert on animals may include natural disasters or predators. However, for humans, this may encompass predicaments such as advancing in a career, familial and societal stresses, or caring for a chronically ill relative. Sapolsky, 1998. Resulting from these exertions on the environment, stress may be a likely result in these situations. Psych, 1979, defines stress as non-specific reactions from the body to any difficulties that are placed upon it. Stress can be further characterized as good stress and bad stress, in which an individual passes through the three phases of the general adaptation syndrome as proposed by Psych in 1979. The stress system uses a joint physiological response involving the autonomic, the neuroendocrine, metabolic, and immune system mechanisms. Lupien, McNewen, Gunner and Heim, 2009. Stress can erode psychological and physiological capacities of individuals, increasing the likelihood of potentially undesirable health problems. In amongst these undesirable attributes, stress also suppresses the immune system, leading to the vulnerability of colds and infections. What is stress? As stated previously, stress can be explained due to the general responses when demands are exerted onto the body. These exertions can be categorized into two aspects of stress, good and bad. Good stress is characterized by experiences that last for a limited interval, in which an individual has a sense of control and can leave with a sense of exhilaration. McNewen, 2007. Bad stress, however, encompasses a lack of control, consisting of persistent emotional and physical demands, including a tendency for exhaustion. Psych, 1979, developed the notion of the general adaptation syndrome, in which an individual passes through this when experiencing stress. The first stage is the alarm phase, which is considered to be the increase in the sympathetic nervous system, intensifying the body for emergency response. The second stage consists of resistance, characterized as the decrease in the sympathetic nervous system, whereby the adrenal cortex secretes cortisol, facilitating the body to maintain an ability to fight infections. The third phase consists of exhaustion, identifying that the body is vulnerable, as the nervous system and immune system no longer have the capacity to sustain intensified reactions. Sapolsky, 1998. In order to maintain a sense of control in one's life, then physiological and psychological balance is needed to maintain a state of internal equilibrium in order to promote healthy well-being. How is stress determined by the brain? The brain is the organ of the body which processes perceived stimuli as threatening and non-threatening, judging the situation. The brain influences the body's physiological response in that circumstance, based on sensory input and processing, activating the hypothalamus. Lupien et al., 2009. Stress activates the adrenal medulla, comprised of the autonomic nervous system, secreting adrenaline, preparing the body for fight or flight response, indicated through the sympathio-medullary pathway, or SAM. McLeod, 2010. Responses to stress that are short-term in nature are based upon the information perceived by the brain, activated through the flight or fight response. Responses of stress are judged by the brain, in which long-term stress is regulated by the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, or the HPA axis, in which this system becomes central in the reaction to prolonged stress. McLeod, 2010. The stressor triggers the HPA, through which the hypothalamus then stimulates the pituitary gland. From there, the pituitary gland secretes adrenocorticotropic hormone, or ACTH. ACTH then stimulates the adrenal glands to facilitate the release of the corticosteroid, whereby cortisol assists the body to maintain regular supply of blood sugar. Therefore, sufficient maintenance of blood sugar levels enables an individual to manage prolonged stress, regulating the body to return to a sense of homeostasis. McLeod, 2010. What are the What are the physiological consequences of stress? Stress can cause a number of undesirable physiological health consequences for an individual, increasing the susceptibility of illnesses such as cancer, lung disease, fatal accidents, and cirrhosis of the liver. McLeod 2010. Stress can damage the heart muscle, causing the increase of stress hormones, placing considerable pressure on the heart and compressing blood vessels. See Miller 2004. Prolonged activation and stimulation of stress due to anxiety or persistent experience to environmental vulnerability, such as noise, pollution, and intrapersonal conflict, can contribute to a variety of unsolicited health problems. Brachot, Guerin, and Thayer 2006. In order to promote positive health benefits, the body needs to stay in a constant state of equilibrium, minimizing the acquisition of these undesirable illnesses. What are the psychological consequences of stress? Chronic stress has direct and indirect consequences upon the body, including undesirable psychological concerns. Chronic stress causes the degeneration of neurons in the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex. Consequently, the brain's areas associated with memory, selective attention, and executive functioning can be eroded by stress, leading to the hypertrophy of neurons in the amygdala. Lupien et al. 2009. This can result in an increase of levels of anxiety and aggression. Stress can supplement and produce certain psychological distresses upon the body, including multiple personalities, general anxiety disorder, phobias, or hypochondria. Brissett 2006. Prolonged time periods of stress can increase the inclination towards psychological distress. Therefore, positive coping mechanisms and balance management can decrease the negative attributes of psychological prolonged stress. In summation, stress can have a major impact on the daily functioning and administration of an individual. The balance between healthy stress and unwanted stress is needed to ensure the maintenance of physiological and psychological well-being. Chronic stress can erode both the physiological and psychological well-being of an individual, in turn leading to unwelcome health concerns. Due to the severity of stress, staying in a constant state of equilibrium is important for physiological and psychological well-being.